Hi there, welcome to BoBeanieCreates. My name is Jeannie, and in today's video, we'll take a look at the pages that I was able to complete for the month of May 2026. Now, starting off with Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder, this is my project book with the lovely Jana, Color and Create with Jana, and we opted for this page here, and that is the vanity page. Let me go ahead and flip it over. So the reason, actually, I believe I selected it, and the reason why is I had some bleed through on this page. Not horrible, but enough where it was kind of bugging me, from this page. And so I thought, you know what, let's cover that up so I can just move on and not have to think about the icky parts on that. And guess what? It worked. That's one thing about coloring is we usually have something in our coloring box that's going to be able to cover up something that needs to be covered up. And in this case, it was a lot of it was this acrylic paint. So I used a peach acrylic paint here and on the background. And for the yellow that I reserved for, around the lighting there was just pencil and some little dots. You can probably see some little marker dots just to kind of give it a little brightness. And then I colored the desk with Tombows, and I just tried to make it sort of distressed looking. So I used different shades of Tombow and then I blended it together with pencil. So that, let's see what else. This part here, the circle, was with the Folk Art Extreme Glitter, and this is in the color turquoise. And it turned out really well, but I will tell you that it required a lot of layers. Like, I'm thinking, if I recall, this was 4 layers of, paint with a paintbrush until it sort of built up enough that it achieved this level of shine. I think in some of these, the glitter bits are very, very tiny and they're kind of sparse. So it takes a little bit to get it to build up like that. But overall, it worked, just required some patience. Now here on the carpet, I used a fine liner. I don't recall if it was this exact color, but this is the Lyra Graduate Fine Liner, and it enabled me to get in these little teeny tiny dotted areas. Let's see here. Some, white across the mirror. The filigree here was all with either a gel pen or with Sparkle Pop. I don't recall. I know for sure that the stars were with Sparkle Pop. And then on the very outside, hopefully you see the shimmer in this, which I really love. The outside, hopefully you can see, is just the faintest of blue, and that was just chalk pastel. So that was this page, and I'm going to slide this over so you can see Jana's lovely page. Now, hers completely different this time. A lot of times we color very similar, color palette, but here I love, she used some kind of peach as well, but peach and pink and yellows, and I love the outside. She opted for that gold filigree, and just all together came together for a really nice cohesive look and beautiful as always. And it's always fun coloring with her, and we're really making some good progress in this book. It's been a blast. Next up is Summer Nights. As you guys probably know, this is my current favorite coloring book, and that's by Hanna Karlzon. And the picture that I colored here was featured in a couple of my Bobini Bits and Clips videos, just kind of working through the page. And so I called it Unrelated Flowers just because I wish you could see the blank page, but it's just, flower, 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 nothing tying it together. And I didn't like it. It just felt, I didn't like the composition. It just didn't work for me. Love Hanna Karlzon. I love her illustrations, but I just felt like this needed some help. So what I did here is I came in with gelatos for the background. And really, I just kind of, let me just show you real quick. I'll grab a gelato real quick. I just kind of grabbed a gelato here and there. I filled in all the green on the back, the majority of the background, and then little pops of color on top of that here and there. you know, and then I smoothed it out with my finger and then ultimately a paper towel just to kind of work it in real well. So I got that background completed, and then I went over it with stencils. So that is in a video where you can see where I used acrylic paint in the stencil. And I think it really did a great job of bringing it all together, which I love. Then in the next video, I did just some other little bits on it, but namely these little dots here and the dots on the flowers. But the flowers are done, of course, with pencil. Shade those and color them in. The exception is where I had some of this gelato got onto some of the flower bits, and so I had to go over those with acrylic. So this is acrylic and that's acrylic. And then because I was so deeply immersed in my acrylic love, I did the, you know, all the dots that you see in some of the outlining and lining of the flowers here. I also used some, let's see, some gel pen, sparkle gel pen for the center of that flower. Excuse me, not for the center of the flower, for the center of the petals, those little outline bits. Just, I thought it just needed a little bit of something else, so I did that. I used Langau gel pen to outline everything. It was tricky to outline. It really fought me. And I wondered if it was because of the fixative. And I was talking to Christine on Instagram, and she was telling me that, yeah, she had the same issue, and it was due to the fixative. So now I know. And, you know, it worked. You can see it for the most part worked, but probably not as good a coverage as I would have loved. But overall, I was just really pleased with the page. And, you know, the main thing is starting out with a page that I was not at all jazzed about. I was not looking forward to it, but because I'm trying to do every page in this book, you know, of course I'm going to color it. But as I worked through it, it just grew on me. I just enjoyed myself that much more and just sort of got immersed in it. And overall, it was just a great experience. And I'm glad I completed this page. This is a new book to me, Color Me Capybaras, and I am thrilled to have this in my collection. It's so darling. This one I called Beauty Rest, and I love coloring this. I started off with an alcohol marker base, and then I came in with, let's see here, this apple barrel acrylic paint pen, and I did the headboard, you know, with that, and the lamps and some of the decorative portions of the nightstands, and also this, I guess, frame or footboard. Anyway, I did that, and then I came in with, I think it was the Sparkle Pop Gold for the bows, and of course pencil to do shading, and this Posca for the center of the flowers. Anyway, I knew I wanted a limited color palette, and so it was just a matter of placement, and I'm loving the way it came out. And then I threw the random kind of peach color here that matched both the furniture and the little capybara himself, or herself rather, whichever. And I love it. I said in my last video that I felt like I was an interior decorator, kind of, just because I was just picking all the different elements and putting them together, and oh, what color do I want here on this pillow, and all the fun, all the little bits were just too much for one person to enjoy, because I was loving life doing this page. It was just a good time, and you just can't resist the cuteness. I'm sorry, just too cute. So I will definitely be working in this again soon, because it was just a lot of fun. The pages, there's so many precious pages. I'll tell you, I had trouble deciding on what to color, but ultimately this was just a good fit as I was recovering from surgery. So I kind of felt like this was me trying to lay on my back flat and try to get a good night's rest with pillows propped all around me so I wouldn't roll over. Anyway, so it just reminded me of me, although much cuter. But, you know, there you go. This is a new book to my collection as well. This is Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo, of course. And I was so excited to finally be able to get this book. And let me just tell you, it does not disappoint. The cuteness is real. No kidding, no joke. So I decided to color this one and I named it Friends Gallery. So I started off with Tamnet acrylic paint to do the little stripy bits of the wallpaper, well, really the whole background. And then I came in with a neon jelly roll because why not on the outside of these flowers and leaves. I used that same apple barrel acrylic paint pen in gold to do the outlining of all the frames. So I decided to do all the frames in gold, at least in part, just to kind of draw it all together. And then I came in with other colors in gel pen, if you can see. And well, gel pen and the turquoise bits are actually sparkle pop. So I did those. And then the little critters are a base of Inktense. And then I went over that to shade. And that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it. Love this so much. Love the critters. So stinking cute, right? But another one that's a limited color palette, and I really think it works. It was a busy enough page anyway that I just sort of wanted to keep with the pinks and the blues and that sort of lime green. And I think it works overall. And certainly so much fun to color. And I'm another one, I'm really looking forward to coloring more in this book. And they kind of are pretty, well, I say they, I've only colored one. I feel like they shouldn't be, oh, I was going to say take too long to color, but then you get a page like this that's got a lot going on. But regardless, if it does take a while, it's well worth it because it's just a blast. Now we'll turn to Seasons, also by Hanna Karlzon, and let's take a look at what I call Royal Rabbits. Okay, for my Royal Rabbits, I started off everything with a base of Neo Color 2. And that includes the whole background, all the flowers and leaves, the rabbit, the bows, everything with Neo Color 2, except for the crowns and the jewelry, I believe. Then what I did is after I did the Neo 2 and I did a couple different layers of that, I came in with some oil pastel, and there's some areas that I felt just would benefit from a little more depth, and added the oil pastel there and a little bit in here and up here just to kind of ground it and give it some depth. So I did that. And then let's see, I shaded with pencil. I did the fur over the Neo 2 on the rabbits with pencil, of course. I did, let's see, I used Sparkle Pop Turquoise for throughout the page just to sort of tie it together. So you'll see the stems, the center of the leaves and the stems are that here. Let me bring it up. You can see our sparkle pop. See that how they shine, and also their crowns. So the crowns I also made that same sparkle pop turquoise just to tie it all together. And I love that it's not traditional using the turquoise instead of green. I just thought it was nice. Plus this was such a sort of a flat Neo 2 leaf. I just thought it was a nice contrast. I just really liked it. I used gold sparkle pop throughout as well. And well, and you'll see some of that darker pink in the jewels and beading. Those are also sparkle pop. Hopefully you can see. And then I used for the white bits, that's also Neo 2, but it's also the Winsor and Newton white ink in a paintbrush. And I used that, for the sky, but also for, just different bits that I wanted to highlight throughout the page. The only thing that's white that was not that Winsor & Newton ink was acrylic paint pen for the dotting of the background. And that's pretty much it, I do believe. And I love it. It took me a minute to do. I started off, with some like good fast progress with the background, and then I just kind of took my time with the rest of it. I honestly, I kind of set it aside and then picked it back up again later in the month. So, but a pleasure, it really was. And I love this book so much. Any Hanna Karlzon book is it's always fun for me to color in. So let's set this to the side. We'll take a look at Shelley's page. And I love her page so much. The use of the pinks and the lavender and the yellow just goes so well together. I thought she did a beautiful job. And at first we were going to do this in April for Easter, and then we decided to do something else and do this for May. And I think hers makes just a beautiful Easter palette. It's lovely. Thank you so much, Shelley. This is another of my favorites for the month, and this was actually featured in a video last week showing how I did the mermaid's tail. So this is Coloring Heaven, the Little Mermaid special, and the illustrations are by Fabiana Trere. And this was a buddy color with Serica, colorist on Instagram. And this is the page that I did. And so what I did is I used, let's see. So the base of this is all alcohol marker. Actually, right in the center here, I started off with Inktense, and I just didn't like it. Seemed kind of like it didn't match the rest of the page very well, so I went over it with alcohol marker. But everything's alcohol marker except for I colored the tail with gelatos. So I used this tool here. I scribbled the gelatos on a palette, and then I came in and I colored the tail with that, and also the scarf area, colored that, and actually also these shells, all with gelatos, and the smaller bits with one of these like really soft brushes, except for it had a flat tip. This is an angular tip, but this is what was next to me. So yeah, that. So the tail, I showed you how to do that, and I was very pleased with the results of that. So what I did is after I did that gelato base, I came in with a stencil and did just some texture here to represent fins, and I even did my shading with the gelatos and the little brush. Let's see, I came in with the white dots, that acrylic white paint pen, just to represent some shine. And then let's see here, I came over, this part of it was extreme glitter, I believe. Hang on just a second here. It was Mod Podge, I think, extreme glitter. Let me double check myself. Not funny, yeah, Mod Podge extreme glitter. And then the glitter bits like on the shimmer, instead of the big glitters, the shimmer here and in here, all the center part, and on the shells, that is all the folk art hologram paint. And so that's that. I did shading with pencil. The background is, the little white dots, same thing, acrylic paint pen. And I also put it across the top of the water there just for some shimmer. Can you see that? And I used a gold gel pen, a glitter gel pen, for the beading and for the jewelry. And then I used this is this, I believe, the Sparkle Pop gold as well, although it could be just as well a glitter gel pen. I can't really tell. But I love the shimmer on it, and I will definitely do another mermaid tail this way. It just was, it came out well, it just really did. And And it wasn't difficult. So if you want to know how I achieved this look, just watch that last video. It's Bobeanie's Bits and Clips, and it's episode 2. So that is this one. So much fun. I'm going to set this to the side and we'll take a look at Serica's page. Serica's page turned out gorgeous. I love the richness of the whole thing. Everything is just so well put together. I love the orange of the rock. I never would have thought of that, but yet it works, you know, with against the green tail. I love the shine on her, the end of her tail, and that is, by the way, called a fluke, I learned. But I love, you can just see the texture and the shine on the scarf on her hip there. I mean, just beautifully put together. She does such a great job. So thank you so much, Serica. Another really fun buddy color. And I love that we're working in these Coloring Heaven magazines because, I mean, I just feel like they don't get enough love. There's so many beautiful books, and yet, you know, we look at our books instead of these specials. I feel like we just kind of overlook them. At least I do, or I had been, and I'm really trying to correct that. So thank you so much for being my buddy. Okay, and only 3 more to go, and all 3 of these are very simple, so I saved them for the end. They're going to go real quick, but let's take a look. Let's start out with A Million Unicorns by Lulu Mayo, and I wish I would have thought to save this for next month, or this month rather, June, Junicorn. Anyway, but here we go. I didn't even know that was a thing, and Shelley taught me that. So I am definitely all in on the Junicorn. Okay, so this one, let's see here. I did a base of, well, not much of a base, but a base of Inktense. So I outlined the unicorn with Inktense and then activated it. Same thing with his wings, mane and tail and saddle. That's all Inktense. And then I shaded with, I know, crazy, but I shaded with crayon. And I've been really enjoying playing with the crayons. And so, yeah, did that. And then I went over it with a little bit of glitter glue, and it was just an inexpensive glitter glue. So I put that on the mane and the tail and the wings. And then the rest of this is just all jelly roll and glitter gel pens. And then glitter gel pen for the outline of the saddle. So let's just take a look at this shimmer. And nothing to it, right? I mean, it just went real fast, but it was a lot of fun switching colors on those stars. There's something relaxing about just doing little bitty bits and enjoying all the color and all the shimmer, and it just was a really fun page to color in its simplicity. I still think it's a really nice page. This one's a Zen Doodle coloring book by Deborah Muller, and it's called Magical Mermaid Kitties, or otherwise known as Mer Cats or Mer Kitties. And so what I did here was a base of alcohol marker, and I can tell that it was my cinqcolor markers because you can see it yellowed, which, you know, it does sometimes. So that's that base of the alcohol marker. I went over that with, let's see here, I'm going to try to pick it out of here. Oh, these guys right here, I was looking for them. I went over the leaves and, you know, some of the bits here with these glitter markers, and this is just a little dollar store item, but it adds just a little bit of color and shimmer at the same time, and then you'll see some sort of metallic looking shimmer, which is the gel pens, and then just a little bit of pencil. I did pencil, you know, for the blue and the yellow on the outside here, but then I kind of darkened it a little bit with that same glitter marker, but very easy. And I don't know that this really counts for mermaid. Yeah, you know what? Yes, it does. It counts. It counts. I had good intentions of coloring a lot of mermaids, and it just didn't happen. I also had good intentions of coloring halfway to Halloween, and that didn't happen at all. But I feel like at least I got 2 pages done, even though this is simple, but still kind of cute. I do enjoy these from time to time. I kind of forget about these books, but when I get them out, um, I really do enjoy them. They're very, very mindless and fun. Okay, very last is Country Kitchen Charm, and this is by Teresa Goodridge. And another simple one, and this was just with marker and a little bit of pencil, and that is it. Oh, and a tiny bit of silver metallic pen for the spoons and the whisk. But other than that, it was just, those few different. Other than that, it was just the markers and pencils. So very, very simple. Life is what you bake it. Why am I trying to show it to you like it's going to shimmer? It's not going to shimmer, guys. A little bit of metallic, but no shimmer. I know, disappointing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my pages for this month. Not so many, but still, it was a good month for me. It was a month that I at least enjoyed. And as always, it's a pleasure to be part of the community, hang out with you, and I look forward to seeing what all of you have colored for May. I'll be watching, and I will talk to you on my next video. Bye now.